Welcome to this straw yield test video on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. That's right, it's time for another test video, ladies and gentlemen. I had a thought. This was off the back of a message I got from Sean. Thank you very much, Sean. It's regarding the Krone Big M. And he sent me a message saying, were you aware that you can mow wheat, barley and oats and get a straw swath? And I messaged him back and said, I'm pretty sure, unless my memory fails me, which it often does, that on FS19 when that first came out and I did a review of the Krone Big M, I'm sure I showed that, but it was something I never ever did after that. No, I could be misremembering. So I thought, you know what, that got me thinking. Straw yields. Now, you may already know the answers to this, and again, if you already know the answers to this, then this is not the video for you. But I thought, FS22, new game, things may have changed. It's the same as it always is. It may turn out the results are identical to FS19. It may turn out they're not. That's the point of testing. Whatever happens, we will get a result. So, here's what I've got. If we go to our map, I've got one strip of wheat, barley, oats, and I've got another one of wheat on the end here. Now, these are identical in length and width. These were using, I can't remember which seeder I used, but it's two strips of the seeder up and down using a worker, so they're exactly the same. These three, wheat, barley and oats, are all fully everythinged. It was mulched, double fertilizing, seeded, rolled. There was no ploughing required, no lime needed, so they should be maximum yield. But it's not about the yield of the crop, it's about what straw gets left behind. I've got a funny feeling that the straw left behind from each crop is exactly the same. But again, that's what I'm testing. So that's test one. This is a three-part test. I don't normally do that either. So that'll be the first thing. I won't put you through the agony of watching me harvest each one and collect. I've got 4 haylofts that we're going to put the straw into. The end one, I haven't done anything to. So whilst it didn't need ploughing and it didn't need lime, I haven't mulched it, I haven't fertilized it, and I haven't rolled it. So the yield is much lower. Because the next question I want to ask is, compared to this strip here, will the yield of straw be less if the yield of the crop is less? Again, I don't know if anyone else has done videos on this. They may well have done. I haven't watched any. I haven't seen any. This is I just thought I'd do it and give it a go. So that's the second test. Then the third comes on to the mowers. So what I'm going to do is, this is my reset point. This is where I've saved it. So I'll do all that testing. Then I'm going to come back to this point here. I'm going to switch out the harvesters and I'm going to bring the mowers. I'm going to mow each of them and then collect the straw again to see, do we get more, less, or the same straw swath if we mow it and leave a straw swath? If we get significantly more, then it's worth doing a crop like wheat if you just want the straw to mow it rather than harvest it. If it's exactly the same, then there's no point mowing it because we might as well harvest it, get the crop and the straw swath. So I just thought, let's have a go. Let's see. So what we're going to do, I think I've got more on the label, straw swath. If I haven't, it's going to get embarrassing really quickly. There we go. I'm hoping it doesn't stop when it gets to the tree. That's why I'm waiting. Then I'm going to set the second one off, third and fourth. So when it gets to the end of its particular run, it's not going to then go over. Hopefully it's not going to go over the swath from the previous one. That one looks totally right. So I'll collect them and I'll put the straw into the hayloft, and then we'll be able to see for each crop whether the straw is different or not, because it might be, again, if you want straw for animals and you don't care what crop you do, if one of them does give you significantly more straw, at least it gives you an idea of what one to use for that purpose. Please don't put sand on. I'm going to be honest, the end one is going to give me like the tiniest little bit less anyway. Why is that going off at an angle? Am I imagining that? That just needed to straighten itself up. How is that? Okay. Because the end of this, it wasn't completely straight to the end. There's a tiny little notch taken out here, but the yield on that's going to be minimal difference. I don't know whether we're going to get less straw for less yield. I don't know. We'll see. Be interesting to see actually what the 3 crops yield as well for the same patch. I am curious. So I'm going to see you in a moment when this is all done. I'll start collecting the straw swath for the first one anyway. Actually, I've got to make sure the harvester's turned the correct way at the end, haven't I? I should do. We're done. I've harvested, I've cleared all the straws. Straws down in the hay lofts. Just in case you're interested in the yields, I'm most interested in the 2 wheat ones, the one that's had everything done to it and the one that didn't have everything done to it. So our wheat yield was 16,105. Our barley yield was 17,612. Our oat yield was 10,457. And our wheat yield, I put the harvester next to the other one, just, I don't know why. The wheat yield with nothing done to it, well, so let's say nothing, 12,482. That had ploughing and liming done, but obviously didn't have any fertiliser, didn't have any rolling, mulching or anything like that. So a difference between 16,105 and 12,482. So as far as yields go, it kind of gives you an indication. If you're going to be doing a crop to feed chickens and stuff like that, and you've got a choice between wheat or barley, the barley is yielding higher, so I would go for barley, but that's not what this test is about. So, to the hayloft, Batman. So here we are. So, straw. What do we get for each of the each of the crops? First of the tests on this then is for wheat, barley and oats. Is the straw swath the same for the crop or different for each crop? First hayloft, 66,582 litres. That's for the wheat. For the barley, we've got 67,473. Not a massive difference between the two. 1,000 litres, not huge really. And if we go to our oats, 67,465. So fairly, I mean, difference between 1,000 litres between those two, but these two, I mean, within what 67,473, 67,465. I mean, negligible. So I would say, yeah, pretty much the same for each one of those. All of them had maximum yield potential. Straw swath seems to be pretty much the same. There's not one that stands out so far above the others you think, okay, that's the one I would do for straw. The other one, so that's the first part. Second part of the test. If the yield is lower, so the field that didn't have as much done to it, if the yield is lower, is the straw off that yield lower? The answer is yes. 51,587 litres. Now, obviously, there's that tiny little bit in the corner. That doesn't account for a difference of what we're looking at. 16,000 litres of straw. So, yeah. If the yield's not as high, you don't get as much straw. Now, this is based upon my findings, what I'm doing. These are the results I'm getting. You may get different results. You may have had different results. You may have watched videos from other people that have got different results. I'm just showing you what I've done. These are the results I'm getting. So, part 1 and part 2, kind of solved, really. Doesn't matter which crop you do with the wheat, barley or oats, the straw will be the same pretty much. Yield of the crop will make a difference to the yield of the straw, according to this as well. Now, obviously, I didn't do it for barley and oats as well. I mean, again, it's an assumption, but based upon the wheat, I don't see any reason why the barley and the oats would be any different, because it would have been coded the same, I would think. So what I'm going to do now is go back to the save where I was before. I'm going to move the harvesters out of the way, and we're going to put the mowers in place. We're going to mow these crops. I know it's weird. In my head, I'm even thinking, what? We're going to mow them and see if the straw swath off it is the same or more. If it's significantly more, it might be worth, the same as you do a grass crop to get your grass and your hay, or if you're doing silage bales, you might decide, well, I'm going to do straw, I'll do a straw crop. We'll see. I'll reset and I'll see you in mere seconds. The time traveller in me has reset back to where I was. I'm more of a Dr. Watt than a Doctor Who, I think. I'm going to move the harvesters out of the way. And I'll put the mowers in place and we'll have a go at that. Now, I'm not going to check. There was something I was going to check. I do it in the grass, I suppose. It was to do with using the Chrome Big M. Kind of another. This is a multi-test episode. Very, very lucky today. Multi-test episode. What you used to be able to do on FS19, and I haven't tested it in all honesty, on FS22, with the Big M, you could fast mow. There is some argument, has been some argument with it, if you do any fast, whatever it is, fast harvesting, when we deal with various different headers, that you lose yield. I don't think you do when you're mowing. But actually I will show you on the grass if it works. Because you might not be aware of it, and it's one of those little things that it's a neat little kind of trick. And if you've got a lot to do, it might speed things up a little bit. I'll just move that last one. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll mow them all, collect straw, and we'll see. And also it'll be another test to see again that there's no reason at all why the wheat on that end and the wheat on this end, there should be a difference. There's absolutely no reason at all doing it this way why there should be any difference. To our previous test, we should get a lower amount of straw from this end one because we've got a lower yield. I mean, that just should be the way it is. But obviously we're not going to get any yields because we're using mowers. Actually, I'll use this mower here to show you what I mean. If I swing it round and turn it on, switch it on, drop it down. Now, I don't know if it will do it because I know some of the things have been a bit fun loads. So if I go forward now, I'm mowing. If I do L1 and double click, double press X, it does do it. It kind of tricks it into thinking you've lifted the mowers. So I'm now mowing at the speed of the actual mower, not the speed that's set for mowing. Now it'll probably do the same for the straw swath, but there is a risk that if there is a reduction in yield, and I don't know why there would be, it's still doing it as it would. As you can see, we're going, actually I've gone above, we're doing 27 miles an hour on a 26 mile an hour vehicle. If I do it again, let's raise this up. That's weird. Start up, drop it down. So this will normally run at, there you go, 15. As you saw, we were just running at 27. So yeah, it's just a case of one PlayStation controller in L1, double press X, because X would be to fold, and you're tricking it into thinking you've folded it when you haven't. I know it's a bit dodgy, but so yeah, all sorts today, multiple testing, some extra little tips and tricks thrown in there if you're interested. You're not just getting a straw one today. Oh, I did that. What we can do is when it's in place. Oh, that's a good point. I need to make sure that for each of these, the straw swath is on. And I'm going to double check this because, again, I get it wrong every single time. Swath, select work mode, swath dropping. We are on swath dropping. That's good. Turn that off. So, let's turn it on. and you see what I mean. It's very peculiar. We'll do grass to start off with. I need to make sure I don't clip the other crop there. Now, will it mow it if I set a worker? No, it won't. Ah, so that's a difference for a start. Go back, catch that. So we are mowing a crop, and we are getting a straw swath. I know it's bonkers. Are we going to get more straw off this than we did when we did the crop? If it's the same, there's no point mowing it. Absolutely 0 point mowing it. You might as well get the crop, get the yield from the crop, and then you've got your straw swath. The only reason I wanted to test this was because I was curious about the yield. If the yield is very high, then it might be worth doing a straw crop, literally just for that, not for the yield of the crop. I don't know, we'll see. As you can see, it's a bit bizarre, but it is doing it. Problem is we're going to get the grass at the end. Don't really want to pick that up, that's going to be annoying. What I might do is run I might run a line across and move it with the loading wagon actually. Yeah, probably do that. I'll do it now. Right, I'll see you in a minute once all of these are mowed, and we'll go from there. Make sure I don't catch the straw. And we're done. Let's see how this stacks up. Mowing a crop for its straw. Well, the first wheat crop, we come in at 67,156. Previously that was 66,582. An increase of what, 500, 600 litres. That's within a margin of error as far as I'm concerned. It is a little bit more, but not significantly to make it worthwhile. The straw from the barley, 67,542. That was previously 67,473. So again, negligible. The oats, 67,507. This was 67,465. Then the crop that had the lower yield, the wheat, 51,624, and that was 51,587. So the result from that, and it was worth testing because you just don't know. It could be that miracle thing that whilst, yes, with the mower, it's that strange little quirk of the mower that you can mow these crops that give a straw swath and get a straw swath. There's not really any need to or any reason to. The straw we got off of them from mowing them was almost the same as what we got from harvesting the crop first and getting the straw swath. And you're better off doing that because you get the crop off of it and you get the straw swath. Whereas mowing it, you just get the straw swath. So, yeah, like I say, whilst it is a quirk, maybe someone will find something. There might be something I'm missing in my head. You know, there might be a reason why you might want to do that. I honestly can't think of it, in all honesty. But it was worth a test. So, in conclusion, the straw swaths from wheat, barley, oats were all pretty much the same anyway. No difference in the crop type, what they gave with regard to straw. The lower yielding field, or part of the field, gave less straw, so that was the second part. And then with regard to mowing it to get the straw swath, the straw we got off of those three, well all four, was pretty much the same as what we got from the first time round. So there we go. I hope you found this useful, informative, helpful in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.